Hey, it's Doris with Aldi Books. Happy Friday. I thought I would do a little Friday reads slash mid-month wrap up because I haven't wrapped up any books this month because I'd only read one as of yesterday, but we've made some progress today, so that is a very good thing. But I did finish Born by Jeff Vandermeer a couple weeks ago now, I guess, week and a half or so. I don't know, but this is a science fiction. I don't read a lot of those, but this one is a bit of a biology focus and post-apocalyptic, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Someone suggested that I listen to this as an audiobook, and that was a good choice. It was an excellent audiobook. The voice of Born, this is an artist's depiction of Born. He is a futuristic creature, but his voice was so charming in this book. This focuses on a couple who is trying to make their way in this world that we are living in the future that is, quite difficult to survive in. And Born is found and becomes a part of their home group, so to speak, and changes the dynamic of their relationship a bit. And yeah, it's just super interesting to see how this all plays out. But I highly recommend if you're looking to dabble your toes in a little science fiction. Then today, I finally finished The Bully Pulpit by Doris Kearns Goodwin, and this turned out to be quite excellent. It took a while to get through it, 750 pages of reading, and she needed most of those pages to wade through the interactions between Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft and some of the prominent muckrakers of the day, Ida Tarbell, Sam McClure, so the prominent newspaper, magazine journalists. So this shows you the progressive movement in the Republican Party and the super close friendship between Taft and Roosevelt, and how Roosevelt not employed, like, he didn't pay them, but he used the magazines, their first dabblings into kind of investigative reporting and analysis instead of just strict news. So, interpreting the news for the masses. And yeah, this was really good. She starts out and you think that she's going to leave Teddy Roosevelt on this pedestal, which he's quite the iconic figure in American history. And I think most of us do have a bit of a positive view of Teddy, and he did a lot of really great things. But a little past the halfway point, she kind of knocks him off that pedestal, and much respect to Doris Kearns Goodwin for doing that. I really got a new view of Roosevelt in this book, and I want to know more, not about Roosevelt exactly, but about what was going on behind the scenes. I've been wondering for the last 4 years when it was in time that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party kind of switched a lot of their policy points, and this is the start of it, I believe. It seemed that way to me anyway. And Taft, oh my goodness, he is a little known president, and I just have a great deal of respect for him now. He wasn't necessarily an effective leader in that role. It wasn't a role that he ever wanted for himself, really. He always wanted to be on the Supreme Court, which he also was that as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed learning more about Taft in this book. My only criticism is that it is so long. And like I said, I think she needed those pages, but it would have benefited from losing 100, 150 pages. But you know, it was good. It was a good read. And then I also finished Charles Dickens' Great Expectations this afternoon. And yeah, I find I'm going to get my booktube card revoked for saying this in the midst of Victober, but I found this book to be incredibly boring. Just incredibly boring. I have a great deal of respect for Dickens, for his, you know, the literary merit of his works. I totally get it. This one included. No disrespect to people that love Dickens and this book in particular, but there's something about his writing style that I find incredibly boring, and I just cannot hardly pay attention to it. And I've tried to think what it is. Okay, so part of it is definitely the serialized nature of most, if not all, of his work. So, you know, it was put out chapter by chapter, and so it was more drawn out, like a novella kind of thing. Not a short book novella. I mean, like a Spanish telenovela. What is the word I'm looking for here? Drama, like soap operas, that kind of thing. So that's one strike against it. Like, that drawn out writing is not my style. I like more concise work typically. And I struggle also with melodrama. I don't like it. I appreciate a more reserved emotion typically. So that's another strike against it. And a lot of Victorian literature has a little more melodrama, or not a lot, but probably half of it. I don't know. So yeah, the melodrama gets to me. And these characters were very cartoonish. And I don't think that's necessarily a criticism of the work. I just didn't enjoy it. Yeah, you know, I think about graphic novels, and I don't really like graphic novels either, but I love historical graphic novels that are, you know, dealing with a historical timeline or a real person. But just graphic novels that are a story tend to bore me for some reason. So I think the cartoonish nature of this one got to me as well. Pip, I did not like him. I didn't like him from the opening pages. I didn't like the tropey things that happened in this book. And I realized that Dickens probably created a lot of these things. So they're not really tropey, but, you know, hindsight here. Yeah, it just turned me off initially when he was like, "Oh, I don't know you, but I'm going to go get some things for you." Sure, no problem. The whole Estella thing, beautiful woman that treats me like trash, I'm in love, like, please. So I'm just gonna stop there. There are brilliant, like, I think this is like I don't like The Great Gatsby either, so sue me. But I really love, like, I do a lot of inclusion English in the high school level, so where I get to sit in on other English teachers' classrooms and work with them, and I really enjoy hearing The Great Gatsby taught well. I love that because it's rich in literature, things to discuss and all, thematics, symbols, yada yada. And this, I think I would enjoy listening to it taught as well, but just enjoying the story, I did not. I'm so sorry. So that's all I've read so far this month. I'm reading a lot. Like I've managed for most of this year to whittle down my reading style to just like 3 or 4 books at a time, but I don't know what happened this month. I exploded. I think I'm in double digits here, or I was until I finished those 2. But I picked up Charles Dickens' American Notes, also for Victober. This is a nonfiction piece about his travels to the young United States. And I've only read the first chapter, but I really enjoyed that. So I think I'm going to get along quite well with his nonfiction. I really like My Own Country looked at through the lens of outsiders. So especially from a historical textbook kind of way. So I think I'm going to get along really well with that. I have been going through Oscar Wilde's poetry. Bless his heart. I think, you know, it reads like, oh dear, like Tolkien's Elven World fanboy kind of thing. I don't know. I'm only able to read like 5 pages a day. This is like his complete works, and I love his novella, and his plays. And I think I'm going to enjoy all of his prose, but his poetry, not so much. But I just want to complete it because, you know, I want to be a completist. And I'm also trying to finish The Great Naturalist. This is edited by Robert Huxley, and this particular edition is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It is also out of print. So if you're interested in it, you have to look at used books websites like thriftbooks.com, I think is where I found mine. But it is a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. Just gorgeous. And just talks about the amateur naturalist through the years up until probably the end of the Victorian era, more or less, right around Darwin's where it ends. But yeah, I'm almost done. And then also for Victober, I picked up Anthony Trollope's Framley Parsonage. And you know, I love Anthony Trollope. I love him. He's just so much more reserved, and thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that about you. I'm there. And then I had decided to pick up another audiobook because I was listening to Great Expectations on audiobook, and I've been doing Couch to 5K. I started the 3rd round. Go me. But I didn't think that I could be very, you know, motivated to run while listening to Great Expectations. So I picked up My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, and I only listened to it once, and I was enjoying it, but I was afraid that I was not paying attention because I struggle paying attention. I do. So I want to give this my best effort, and I just want to really sink into the words. So I think I'm having deja vu here because I think I've done this once before with this book. I don't know, but I decided to hold off and read this with the eyeballs and not the ears. So as soon as I finish, I think Framley Parsonage, I'm going to pick this up and read it. So instead of that, I picked up Girl at War by Sarah Novick. This one on audio, and this one was more what I was needing. It's more of a straightforward narrative without the literary layers, historical fiction, and so far so good. It's I think Kosovo and Sarajevo and Bosnia. I haven't read much, so I don't, 2001? Yeah, 1991. So 1991 and 2001 is the current timeline. She's looking back on her life. So I will keep you posted on that. I'm also buddy reading The Turkish Lover by Esmeralda Santiago. This is the third in her trilogy memoir. Highly recommend, highly recommend. Esmeralda Santiago is a Puerto Rican who in her tween years moved to the United States with her mother and some of her siblings. I think all of them are in the States eventually. And yeah, this is just her coming to terms with her parents, a coming of age novel as she matures and kind of breaks out of her, you know, family expectations and becomes independent and kind of makes her way in the world. It's just, she's so insightful about herself and about the world around her, and 100% recommend that book. And then I'm also buddy reading Ken Liu's The Paper Menagerie, a short story collection. This is also science fiction, so 2 science fictions in 1 month. Wow. I am actually really enjoying this. The short stories are varied. Some of them are more kind of literary, intellectual, thought-provoking. Some of them are more just enjoyable story style. But yeah, they're all hitting me pretty good. There's only been, I think we've read like 5 thus far, and only one of them have I been kind of meh about. So this one's working for me. I hope it continues that way because it's kind of chunky. But anyway, yay. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.